Hi, everybody. I am very happy to introduce to you my new library. This is a year in the making. This is Signs of Life for Omnisphere 2.6. Very special. My goodness, where do you start? A year ago, I went to Costa Rica. And as you can see from these pictures, had a pretty amazing time with my daughter. 17-year-old daughter came with me, and we had a very special trip of a lifetime. Got to see many things, and as you saw early on, I had my trusty field recorder, my little Tascam DR100 Mark III. Thank you, Tascam, for sending this to me. I had the Mark II that I own, and I was talking to them. They're like, "Oh, you're going to Costa Rica? You'll want the Mark III." Because it has a limiter, it has some new features that made it so like there's a thunderstorm I recorded that was just incredibly loud. It went over the top of my head, actually. And the limiter would kick in and make it not just become... It actually still sounds really good. So that was pretty cool. So as you can see, Costa Rica is quite remote. There's not a lot of cars. So the ambiences I was able to record were really pure. And then... Now, the question you might be asking is, how did I get from that to, this? Are you saying there's bugs and crickets and ambiances and everything you're hearing? The answer is yes. I'll show you. So the library is, core is 123 samples. Many of them being environmental samples. Let's have this go away. By the way, this is one of a number of bonuses. I'll cover them as we go through this. Including in this, there's drum loops inside of Omnisphere. But if you go to the actual library folder, the drum loops folder has more drum loops than there are in Omnisphere, because I have full mixes and small mixes and breakdowns. There's only 2 of each loop included in Omnisphere. So there's 10 loops in Omnisphere. There's 29 in this bonus folder. But not only the drum loops, my friends, but also all of the drum samples that I made to make the drum loops, and they're all in one map. So for example, this is one of the drum loops. This is, let's see if I solo this and unmute this. Here, let's pop this over so you can see it. This is Tantra Dance. This is one of them that's included in the library, right? Okay. This is it as samples, and you'll notice it sounds different because I've done things in the mastering of the drum loops that I can't do when you're just playing samples, because these are the samples before the final mastering. So if you listen again, here's the loop. Here's the drum samples. Oh, it's faster. 78. That's the original. It sounds, it is the sound of it, but it's different, right? The mix is slightly different. So which do you want to use? If you have it in super macho drums, cool, because you have this ability here to modify the presets and all that kind of stuff. There's a preset map for this. There's also a preset map for, let's see if I go back here and turn this on to ESX24. So I just have to drag this over to ESX24. Now the ESX24 is playing it, right? I also made it in a stock map for Contact 4, which is the just bare bones vanilla, no interface, nothing cool. So that way so many things can load a Contact map. So this can be imported into many things. Now note, when you get this, the release is set really short, so the sample's cut off like weird. So make sure you up the release. The other thing, if you don't have Contact, or you don't know how to load something into Contact, but you have a sample player, Halion or something or whatever, the samples are all named sequentially. And all you have to do is go over here and let's go like this. And if I hit this button here, I can show you. Just have them mapped sequentially from number 1. Let's open this up so you can see the names from 1. See number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. all the way from C2 all the way up to 46 being up here. And by doing that, you have the sounds across the keyboard, and that way the files will play that are the MIDI files that come with this. So I can load this and hit play. The advantage of this is that here's another one of the MIDI files. Let's see if I unmute this and play it. Right? That's the loop as a drum sound. Now, let me show you what it sounds like in Omnisphere fully realized. This is pretty mind-blowing. I just got to hit 1. It'll call it all up and close this. So this is called Very Deep Thoughts, and it's using, as you can see, Balance Chair for the drum loop. And I have now mapped it with... There's environmental stuff in there. Huge bass. And again, you're hearing insects and birds and... Right? So this is a fully realized performance that you can jam to. Before we left for Costa Rica, we spent one night in Los Angeles and I recorded airplanes flying overhead because we were right underneath the freaking airport runway. So this is a sound design version of that. And again, all 4 MIDI Cs are set up on these. So if you watch down here on Show MIDI, it's just so fun to play these. Okay, so in a minute, I'm gonna play you demo songs of these multis, just to give you a taste of the whole library quickly. I'm gonna do another video going through all 238 patches, but I'm not gonna do that in this video because I don't want this to be a 2-hour long video, okay? Also, there's a bonus of, let's see, if we go to, where is it, right here. There's also the Signs of Life bonus. This is 135 patches that were made by the plugin guru community. I am honored, and I've done this with a number of the libraries, to be able to release a small set of patches before I release a full library and let people that like to program and have learned programming from watching the videos that I have created on this YouTube channel. They've made all these patches. These are the raw, butt naked. I haven't touched them except for changing volumes. Let's see if I go initialize this multi and we go over here so you can hear this. There's all sorts of, and some of these you will find, like the one finger jar. If you go to the full library, there's one finger jar, but it's been modified. I've done my own additional edits to it. I've done that to most everything in the final library. I want it to be this a collaboration with people. So not everything, but most patches have been edited by yours truly, even if they exist in the bonus library. Now, if you bought the demo version, if you log into the website, you'll find this bonus.omnisphere to download. If you buy the full version of this library right now, you'll see there's a bonus.omnisphere you can load. That will give you all of these bonus patches right out of the box without having to buy the little demo version of the library. So you have both those, as well as the drum loops, as well as the drum hits and the MIDI files, and the photo album. Those photos that you saw at the very beginning, that's available right here as a PDF that you can double click and view. And those are wonderful memories of the trip. I wanted to share it. It's all packaged. I live my life making sounds. That's what I do. But I want to do more of these where I go places and have experiences and share as much of it as I can with you guys. That's really what makes this special. I'm not just another patch designer. Making another EDM library to sound like the Chainsmokers and chasing. I do that sometimes, but I also have this side of me where I want to be artistic, and this is my vision, and here it is. And I try to make it as much stuff as I can. So, for example, let me show you that airplane sound with the sound effects. If we go down to the list, let's go to the full version of the library. After you get past all the patches that were made by people and you see all their initials by everybody, thank you everybody that contributed. I'll continue to do this because I love to do that with the library, so we'll do that in the future. So subscribe to the Plugin Guru newsletter on the pluginguru.com website right here. If you want to be informed of when we do fun stuff like this, I think this is library number 40 for Omnisphere. I make libraries for other synthesizers as well, but Omnisphere customers are always looking for new sounds, and they don't torrent them. They pay for them. So it keeps me allowed to be in business. And that's not always the case with a lot of the other stuff I've released, unfortunately. But down here at the bottom of the list, if you go down here, you'll see that there is LA Big Jet Landings. These are the raw, pure right? And if you go up here to the effects, here's Dream Jet Sweep, and that's that sample programmed to do all sorts of cool stuff, right? There's some other cool, gosh, there's so much cool stuff in here. But this all starts, the core of this library, the DNA at the very beginning are these samples in the environment. These are the sounds of Costa Rica. I recorded them at 192 kilohertz, 24-bit audio. Sample rated them to 48 kilohertz from the in software, but using this little Tascam recorder. Thank you, Tascam, for sending me the DR100 Mark III. I owned the Mark II, and they said, you need the Mark III. I'm so glad they did that. Thank you. But we had 5 o'clock in the morning, howler monkeys. So to start with were all these beautiful rain and frogs. Here's the one with the insane thunder. Check this out. So if we go over here, you can see the waveform here. So guess where the thunder is? And this is where like a really good limiter came in handy. Check this out. I think it's right in here. Like I said, these are long recordings. Right? And it keeps going, and there's another one later. So this is literally minutes of recording in an audio file in Omnisphere. If you want, you can use, we could go like this to make this short and move sample start. And make it so that it starts. Listen how cool that sounds. Even 2 octaves down. Just really cool. All of these ambiances. You go to morning. And you play this 3 octaves down. And I have all sorts of tools set up for all of these for 4 MIDI CCs. Right? So rain, easy thunder. This happens every now and then. we stayed in the Costa Rica on the Cahuita side, which is the Caribbean side. La Fortuna and the Arenal area, that is in the middle in the mountains. These like dueling crickets. And I put, if you go to here to the comments, I put comments for each of these moments captured that I could remember. So there was angry birds fighting, or like, I think something was trying to steal their eggs. That's what I think. And they were trying to scare away whatever it was. Crazy. Soft rain. Right? So all sorts of cool environmental streams, waterfalls. And then for like 6 months, I have worked, I'll post a link up here for a video of me using my modular with synthesizer effects together to record like 3 or 4 minutes. I did that. I used molecular. Here, I'll pop up a couple screenshots of some of the effects and things that I used to take those environmental sounds and power them in synthesizers, in plugins to make really cool, beautiful sounds. If you go to just this, you hear environmental sounds, but it's also in a pad you can play. It's amazing. And because of the way Omnisphere is so flexible, you can move the sample start, bring the attack up, make it really short, and if you need to be even poppier, all you have to do is add a pitch EG real quick. Go here to like mono envelope 4, set it like that. Turn off those things and make it polyphonic and make it really short. And now you have bring down the depth, zoom in and make it even shorter. So it's very easy to take these to places new, which is what, so let me show you a couple more of the sounds. This is from Maxwell combined with effects. This is from the video that you can see on YouTube. I went through and I found just places I could loop. That's just a little tiny piece. This is no synthesis. At this point, it's just samples. Right? Octave rise. So because of that kind of rising effect, it's really easy to add a slow envelope and resonance, and you have, and envelope intensity, of course, would be nice, right? So they're very programmable in cool ways, right? So there's Orbital's Death Call. Same sound, I'm just adding programming by using the controllers. Right? There's swarms. Violin rains. So it's a single sample from Mega Magic Violins, one of the composites. It's also using samples from Mega Magic Viola and Mega Magic Cello, but it's just a single sample combined with rain. Right? So these are new sounds powered by Mother Nature. And then you go up here to this, it just gets insane when you get to adding even guitars and stuff like that. And if you listen, there's the Rainstorm. And I programmed this one really special using the bias controls so that you could actually have this one work where it's got a key range and it gets soft, and as you go up the keyboard, it goes away and the guitar shows up. And it's playing a different ambient sample, this gentle rain. So when you want thunder, you just hit low C. You can go to anywhere you go, all of these. Dreams in Flight. This is using gentle rain and that airplane taking off, right? But on top of those two, there's also this gentle rain happening. Oh, here, let's just get just the general rain so we just hear. Just slowly fading in. And then it's got rhythmic stuff happening with LFOs, which you can emphasize with. Right? So every patch, everything in this library, it has environmental sounds in it, but not just, birds chirping in a tree. The idea is to find creative ways of using that. Even the basses, check this out. If you go to a bass, like even. This is only environmental sounds. So if you turn off the effects and you turn off the filters, it's using Wormhole, which was made using Molecular, which is really cool. If you go to even here's another bass, Quiet Places. Let's turn off the bass elements. Here's the environmental elements. Right? So everything has ambiances. So when you get up here and you play these multis, even the ones that are doing all sorts of really cool, huge things, there's sound environmental stuff in these. Everything. It's all, except for the drums. Okay? So, I think we're at the point where I can show you the demo songs. So I recorded this earlier. I wrote the demo song, and then I did a screen capture of it so I could play it. So I'm just going to play a bit of each one so you get the vibe, and I can talk about it before it plays. So we're going to fade out and come back so I can prepare for the first one, okay? So I hope you're enjoying this. This has been a pleasure to put together and really hard to not have tears in my eyes because so many memories and experiences and stuff are wrapped up in these sounds. It's a very personal library. But it's to share with you. That's what's the magical part of this. So anyway, I'll see you in a bit. So first up is a multi called the Parallax Formula, which is a way that astronomers use to calculate the distance of stars. It's a trajectory kind of a formula, I believe. And so basically when you play it, and And you hear the environmental stuff in there, right? This is also available down here as a pad where it plays across the whole keyboard. When you bring the mod wheel all the way up, it's really cool. And I actually use that to cool effect in the demo song you're going to hear, because it starts with the mod wheel always up. So. Right? So, enjoy the video. Make sure when you're watching these videos that you look down here at the 5 cc's for, well, I don't use pitch bend that much, but for mod wheel, breath controller, foot controller, and soft pedal, you'll see them changing things throughout this. So please enjoy. All right, up next is the demo I did using Island Country Road Trip. And this is a really fun one to play. You could jam on this one for days, literally. And there's a lot of ways to deconstruct it to be different, flexible and stuff. It's a combination of guitars with synthesis. There's a combination of just the guitars. And then there's moving the rainforest, which is using mod envelopes to give you this nice motion, which complements that sound really well. And then a bass. Right? And the drums. So you have all these elements to play with, you know? And if you go to tempo, the keyboard and bass part, or guitar and bass part, technically. And there's a crash. As you can see, there's sound effects and crickets in the crash. So it's not just a crash. Everything is environmental here, man. Also, just so you know, Island Layers is just the guitar and the synth part across the whole keyboard. Again, you can degrade everything, right? So here is the demo I did. There's a couple moments where I soloed the different elements so you can hear it. So enjoy. Okay, this is Quiet Places. This is just guitar. Well, not just guitar, of course, right? There's environmental sounds, there's vocal sounds tucked in there. And there's a bass. Which has this cool growing mono with portamento. And if you want to accentuate that, go to patch number 3. And right here's the portamento, and I only have it affecting the B and the D layers. You can make it sloppier, which is really cool at times. You know? I kind of found a happy medium so that you can play and it's not going to sound like you're too sloppy. And then the drums is actually arpeggiated of drum hits, not drum loops. So not only are there library things in this library that are of loops, this is using the kicks and the stuff that are in that bonus kit. I put them into Omnisphere too. Shame on me. So this is a snare and a bongo being used, and then a little shaker part over here on patch number 5. Just shaker all by himself. But anyway, this is a nice video. It's a nice song, actually. Came out nice. So here is Quiet Places. Enjoy. Okay, this is Vision Hunter. Should be called Vault Hunter. I love Borderlands, the video game. And this was kind of in that spirit in a way. You can see things lining up to chase you and kill you, right? I turned it off, so here's the kick. This is another one where I'm using the arpeggiator. I'm using some cool tricks with velocity to change from one sample to another. Part 1 is doing all those things. The kick, snare, I love this snare. This snare, that snare took a lot of work to come up with, my dear friends. It's using an effect filter and all these settings and special envelopes on noise. I think, where is it? Right here. Super short to get that shape. So it's kind of 808-ish. If you turn off the effects, that's what it kind of sounds like. But the filtering and stuff is what really makes it magical. So maybe this will become like a new snare sound people want to use on lots of stuff because it's just, it really pops in a cool way. Anyway, this is the Vision Hunter. And again, you'll see me mute solo. Watch down in the corner here for the controllers to see what's happening that's changing the sound. Enjoy. And finally, this is the last multi I made and probably the craziest. Just in terms of new stuff going on in this, I really love some of the new things that I dug into. It's actually using 4 layers just to make the groove. And unlike the other ones where you have low C to start a groove and stop a groove and you play it, this is a different concept for rhythm where you have the drum groove playing the whole time with the bass part. The bass part is built into those 4 patches. So that's all real time. Right? Right? I didn't say anything before, but I'll tell you now, Mega Magic Bells and Winds, the pan flute, and I think a flute sample make some guest appearances in some patches. This synth part right here has a guest appearance from a sample that's getting used in tons of trance and dance tracks, and that's this, the Battle Bright. When you combine that with other stuff, just huge, cool sound. So you have this cool groove, and let me pull this apart real quick. Here's the bass and kick. Plus there's also, like, there's delays on the bass that are resonant, high pass, that have LFOs triggering them. That little, that's in the bass sound. There's so much you can do to warp this. I have an LFO slowly sweeping, so you don't change that. You just change it when it comes in. Right? Okay? Here's the Tambourine and Snare. And again, it's using the ARP and it's tricky velocity stuff happening. The snare, you can go in and change the shape of this filter. You just want it to be a cool thump. sorts of cool places. Okay. Okay, the bongos have a special place in my heart. Their psycho left and right bongo pattern. The controllers. Okay. And then the craziest of all is the effects and swells. It's using a power chord. All this stuff is happening with envelopes. So you can change the shape of things. If you want to be there more. Right? So there's no ARP happening to get that. That's all LFO envelopes happening. So when you play it together, right? So I don't know if you know this, but one cool thing with Omnisphere is if you want, you can go through and right click and enable host automation. So that way you can have it so that you can automate soloing into the song. So this song you're going to watch is built a lot with using solo to solo just certain components and have them come in at certain times, along with all sorts of 4 MIDI CC stuff changing at the same time. So check out the demo. I'm going to show you one more multi that I didn't make a demo for, but I love this one. This is called A Very Colorful Life. So it's got these cool rhythmic elements. And then I love this. The jet takeoff, tape flange. And this is just a single loop for the bottom. It's not using the crazy programming stuff. Okay. Such a great library. Oh, I must show you also the pads. Oh my gosh. These are layers of just 2 patches that I just made really quickly going through the library. There's, I think, like 4 of these, right? So, just so goose pimples. And you hear all sorts of fast LFO slowing down, all sorts of things added to this to make its modern sound design. That's what I wanted to go for. And I'm so happy how it turned out. So, Quiet Places and Guitar Dreams. So, oh, and Very Deep Thoughts is a split, so you have that bass and the bells. So epic. So that's the library. A year in the making. I'm very happy with how it turned out. There's a ton. Go through it slowly because this is one that will take a while to digest. Just there's so much there to work with. So as always, I sincerely thank you for your support. You keep me alive in doing this. So thank you. And we will see you. I'll be doing a video shortly on the patches, just going through all 238 patches. But I hope this with the demos is a different type of a format and it works for you. So it's fun to do. I enjoyed. So thank you for your support. See you later.